And hello good people of the internet, it is I, Tommy Kelly, and this is Adventures in Woo-Woo. And this episode is another divination video where you send in your questions and I answer them, only this time we're going to use various different kind of divination tools rather than just the 47s. So hello good people of the internet and welcome to another divination video. Now in this one I'm going to mix it up a bit. It's not just going to be 47s, I'm going to use some other things. And what am I going to use? Well, one of the things I'm going to use is this book called Begin It Now. And this was one of the first books, not one of, it was the first book that I came across that I ever used for bibliomancy, and it's totally designed for bibliomancy. Bibliomancy is just basically opening a book randomly, asking a question, opening the book, and then whatever page it lands on is your answer. It was totally designed, so it's just full of different kind of sayings and pieces of wisdom. The other one I'm going to use is my favourite, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, the play. This is brilliant for bibliomancy. It's quite funny. It has an attitude all of its own. And of course, we're going to go to 47s as well, if that was in focus. There you go. So, without further ado, we'll start with 47s, because why not? Let's do that. And give these a bit of a shuffle. So, how are you all? Are you well? You having a good day? Are things working out well? The thing I have to keep an eye on, my mission today, is because I have a 20-minute limit on the DSLR. And sometimes when I get into these readings, I forget about that, and halfway through the reading, the thing goes off and I lose the reading. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Sue Davis, what is in store for my daughter's competition season? What is in store? Well, I hope it's a good one. Maybe she have a great time, but let's see what the cards say. The idea. So that would suggest to me that there's something new that's going to enter us. There's some new kind of approach or new kind of, well, a new idea or a new, there's like a seed has been planted in the ground, something that hasn't been there before, some new element, and it's positive, normally positive, some new creative thing, some new approach, some new kind of, I don't know, element to the competitive, either her competitive approach, the competitive scene, whatever it is, there's some kind of new thing being brought in that's going to flower and develop and grow into something quite wonderful. And the idea is kind of the representation of a new idea coming into the universe and about to grow, some new inspiration, some new way of doing things, or seeing something in a completely different light. So we will go on to Zuka. Zuka Ned. Now I'm going to do a very quick yes or no for her first question, as we have discussed. Will I get back with my ex? You all know my thoughts on these things. So yes or no. The mother. There's something. So yes or no. Yes, to do with nurturing and value and earth energies and homesteads and that kind of thing, where, you know, needs are to be met, that kind of thing. Won't go too much into it. So I would say if it's nurturing for you, it'll happen. Okay, so the actual question. Are my efforts to restore trust going to be fruitful? So let's see, that's kind of yes, another yes or a no, but we'll see what's revealed by the cards. The monk. So I'd say this is more advice than a yes or no answer to it. The monk would suggest keep things simple, get rid of all the clutter, don't overthink it, don't be trying too many different kind of strategies. Whatever your approach to this, to make to restore the trust, is to keep it as simple as possible, as plain as possible, as uncomplicated, single pointed. And don't try, you know, it's not grand things, it's kind of quiet, work kind of in a sense behind the scenes rather than a big grand kind of, like it would be the idea of you would come in and you would just go along, you know, if you're trying to restore, you know, what work colleagues say. So you come into the office, and rather than make an announcement at the top, I'm going to prove to you that I am trustworthy, you would just do the job, and people would get to know that you're trustworthy through your actions and that. Keeping it simple, not making big grand, almost in a sense egotistical gestures or whatever. It's just do the work, keep it simple, don't overcomplicate it. So we will go to begin it now for this question. If I continue to wait tables and struggle to get by, will I be hired for the job I prefer in April? Or should I be putting lots of resumes and take the first good paycheck I'm offered at a concept I wouldn't hate? So we shall see what Begin It Now has to say to you. The absence of alternatives clears the mind marvellously. So what I would suggest it's saying there is that because you're offering two things is to get rid of one. Either if you have a goal, if you have a vision, go for it. Don't be kind of having a backup plan, burn the bridges, burn the boats. That's if you're going to capture the island, you have to burn the boats so you can't retreat. It's you either have victory or you have not. So if you have the absence of alternatives, it clears the mind so you'll know exactly what you want to do. So I would say get going for the job you want is what your focus should be. And if you're already settling for something that you wouldn't hate, then you're already settling. So be magic about it. Aim for what you want. When I was learning to drive, the driving instructor also said, keep your eyes on where you want to turn to or the direction you want to go, because as soon as you move your eyes to something else, that's where you'll start driving towards. So just think of that in life. Focus on your goal, not on the backup plans. Burn your bridges, burn the boats, that kind of thing. And good luck, and I hope it works out for you. Okay, the Scrouse. How are you, man? Hope you're doing well. Will my live streaming at Revision Gallery open new opportunities that I need to look closely to catch? So you're saying will they open up new opportunities, or there's some sort of somehow occult it? And why did that all of a sudden go out of focus? Oh, I know why. Because I'm an idiot. So we will try Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. So, will my live stream at Vision Gallery open new opportunities that I need to look closely to catch? It's kind of a, I don't know, there's a qualification to that I can't, it doesn't sit completely fully with me. Why can't it just open up new opportunities? Why would they be hard to see? Why are you putting in that stipulation that it's, we'll see what it says. And the answer you get is they're conditioned to it. So that would be a yes. But also that thing of that you're putting a condition on it. You're making it so the opportunities are going to be hard to see. So, or you'll need to look closely to catch. So don't do that. Just allow the opportunities to be easy to see, to be plentiful, and to be around you. And don't be over-conditioning things. Maybe I'm reading that wrong, but Rosencrantz and Guildenstern seem to agree with me. So what will happen if I open the gate? We'll stick with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Berenstain. What will happen if Abraxas opens the gates? I take my hat off to you. So that would, to me, imply that you'll get a nice welcome, that you'll be, people will, it's a good, positive thing. People will be kind of look up to that. They will respect that. You'll get that's a warm welcome. That's a kind of a positive kind of thing. So if you open the gate, then you will be accepted by whatever's behind it with, good cheer. Sir Echo, we'll go back to the 47s. What course corrections do I need to make in my life path, if any? Well, I would say that by the fact that you're asking that means that you're kind of in some way either in a rush or stagnating or double guessing. So let's see what the servants have to say. The Protector. So that would suggest that maybe there's something about what you're doing or something that you need to hold on to more, that you have to protect a bit more, that you have to be more aware around security. Now that security doesn't have to be like in a physical thing or your house, your job or that. It could just be around your opinions, your beliefs that don't, that seems to be, it seems to be what it is that you have to protect your own ideas. and not give yourself away. Say you're going into the world of business or whatever, and you go in with all these hopes and dreams, whatever, and then you spend a couple of years there, they're all dashed, and then you just become like a mindless zombie like everyone else. So it's just that kind of idea of to keep your own hopes, your own dreams, your own agenda, your own beliefs, your own views, your own opinions, and to be mindful of that there's something along those ways that need protecting. So, IDCT 321. Is this really my breakthrough year? My art, my craft, and myself want to know. And I, for one, want to know too. So we will go to begin it now. That seems an appropriate question for this oracle. Let's see. Victory belongs to the most persevering. So, that would suggest to me what it's saying there is that if you persevere and if you follow through, if you do the work, if you like the fixer, you pay the price, you do all the things that you have to do, then yes, this will be a breakthrough year. If it's up to you. But the persevering kind of thing, it says that there'll probably be some challenges along the way, as there is with all things. All things worthwhile have challenges too. That persevering through them and not giving up hope or not giving up when things get hard, or when the work has to be done and the sheen has come off it, and your dream shows up a bit like hard work and stuff like that. So persevere through it, through the hard times, through the setbacks, the negative things that come with all things, and yet you'll get where you need to be. So good luck with that, and may your best days be ahead. Stitch lightly. When will my sequel begin, or what is holding it back? We'll go to 40 Serpents. When will my sequel begin? I'm assuming that means a new part of your life, but I don't want to read too much into it. You know what sequel is. I don't need to know. Okay, so the balancer. So your sequel will begin whenever you put some certain parts of your life, whatever it is, you will know, that aren't in balance, back in balance. And that's what's holding it back. There's some imbalance. There's something happening that isn't quite in equilibrium. And that you need to look at that, and that's the kind of thing. And there's a couple of videos in this that I've talked about before where it doesn't necessarily have to be directly related, say, to the problem at hand. I had this kind of issue a long time ago, well, not that long time, a couple of years ago, where there was kind of a hold up in all my life until it turned out I had to make a communication with someone I had kind of had an argument with and stuff and didn't want to be around. And it wasn't that it was necessarily connected to any of it, in fact it wasn't. But until that bit of balance was restored, the entire thing was thrown out of balance. So have a look around and see what kind of elements in your life you can fix that you may have been ignoring or putting off because you don't think they're connected to this other things. But see it more as a holistic thing, that if some part of you is out of balance, then all of you is out of balance. So I hope that helps. What do I need to know about potential change in career this year? And that's from Legion. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Let's see. Guildenstern. Why do I keep doing the Berenstain thing with this? So hold on until I reconnect with the question. What do I need to know about a potential change in career this year? Good, my lord. How does your honour for this many a day? Right. So what I would say there is that you need to look at how, in a sense, honour in this case would be more like, say, how your trustworthiness is, how you're viewed by the people who could give you this change of career, or how it looks. So if you're changing career and you're burning boats or you're burning bridges, is that something you need to do in order to get to where you want? Like, you'd be honourful in whatever it is to move. Don't fuck someone over to get the job you want, because it not that it necessarily bites you in the back. It might, but it's not the honourable thing. And the thing about this seems to be that you have to look at what's honourable, what's the right thing to do, and that will lead to the more success overall, rather than probably what's the easy thing to do, or the quickest thing to do, or necessarily the best or the thing that will, it's probably easier to get what you want by doing something dishonourable, and that's not what it suggests that you should do. So take that as you will. Sammy. How will things go with family this year? Will I see more of those who are far from me? We will go with begin it now for this. So, let me see. It's a funny thing about life. If you refuse to accept anything but the best, you very often get it. So to me, that's suggesting that if this is something that's important to you, then you're going to have to make it a priority, and you're going to have to instigate it, and you're going to have to be the person who organizes it. So if you want to see family this year, it's suggesting that you're the one that has to go and see them. You're the one that has to organize it. Not necessarily you have to want to go fly, but if you want them to come to you, organize it. Tell them the dates, do the thing, put it together, rather than waiting for them to do it or for circumstance to, circumstance to do it, to fall in your lap. You're going to have to organize what it is you want. So, good luck with that. Lune, or Luna? Luna, I assume Luna would be the A, wouldn't it? What, if anything, remains in the way of my partner and I reaching our biggest goal this year? Sounds like a 40 servants question to me. So. Road opener. So, what is the biggest obstacle? You've closed your opportunities in that you could be. Sometimes when you have a goal, when you have a very specific goal, we don't allow it to manifest in any other way other than this very specific way. And when the idea of a road opener is that you open yourself up to opportunities and ideas that you wouldn't normally accept, and that ultimately, so it's like, I can't get through here, but if I go round, I can get to where I want to be. But you can be stuck behind this boulder because no, it has to be this way. This is how this plan is meant to come out. This is how this goal is meant to materialize. This and only way. Being kind of too specific, putting too much limitations on the exact nature of it. It's like saying, I want this, I want to win, rather than saying I want to have loads of money, you say I want to win the lottery. And so you cut off all the other opportunities to have money come into your life because you've set on your goal and the thing as being the lottery win rather than the money win or the money acquisition. So open up your kind of, it's not to say, don't go for what you want, but just have a bit more, allow that to manifest in different ways rather than maybe being so steady pointed, so stipulating so much, to delineate it, to this is the way it has to be, and just kind of allow it to manifest in whatever way it wants to. And then you should be golden. Okay. Is fancy AF? I'm assuming it's fancy as fuck, but maybe not. As fancy as feck. Has my goddess heard my request, and is she assisting me accordingly? This sounds like a Rosencrantz and Guildenstern one to me. Okay. Is fancy? Is goddess listening? Raises himself on his elbows and shades his eyes as he stares into the auditorium. Finally. So I would suggest that it's finally happening. You've been looking, you've been searching, you've been gazing, hands, you're kind of exasperated, you're a bit frustrated by it, but you're looking out into the auditorium, into the world, into the thing, and you're saying, finally, it's finally happening. So I would suggest that it's finally happening. Rorbot 5000. What do I need to do to get out of my slump and back on track? 40 seconds. 1 minute 35 before I have to reset. The messenger. Okay. So what do we need to do to get back on track is you have to listen to something that's been said to you that you've been ignoring, that you haven't been willing to accept, that you have, that you don't want to hear necessarily, or somewhat you're waiting on a message, you're waiting on something to happen. But usually with the messenger, what I find, particularly when it comes up in divinations, that it's that people have received the message but don't want to hear it. It's something that you don't want to hear that has been told to you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be bad. It could be, over and over again, something going, you're great, you should do this type of job, you'd be great at that job. And you go, oh no, I don't feel I could do that. Or sometimes it could be, you're terrible at this job, you should do something else, but there's something about it that you're not listening to, and that's holding it back. And it could be a very slight thing, it could be a very big thing, but it's something that has already been said to you, probably a number of times, but that you just haven't listened to it. So good luck with that. Hopefully it's a positive thing. Hopefully someone is telling you you're better than what you think. So, traveller, about to change my career. Any tips? I'll go to begin it now, and let's see. Okay, it's a longer one. If I had to sum up in one word the qualities that make a good manager, I'd say that it all comes down to decisiveness. You can use the fanciest computers in the world, you can gather all the charts and numbers, but in the end, you have to bring all your information together, set up a timetable, and act. So that's suggesting to me that be decisive about what you want, about to change my career. So the tips would be know exactly what you want, know what you're willing to take, what you're willing to not do, what's your goals, your ambitions, your limitations, all the rules that go with what you want, and then don't settle for anything other than what you want or what you're doing, but there's an action element to it. You have to apply rather than just, as I was saying in that thing, rather than acquisition of knowledge, there's an action component that's need to do, so act accordingly. So, Electro Wizard, what do I need to do? Right, meow. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. What does Electric Wizard need to do now? Bonk. So, and who are we? And the answer is, as fellow artists. So, I would suggest that you're being told that you should do some art, you should do something creative, you should, fellow artists, you should do something possibly with other artists, or surround yourself with other artists or other creatives, and do something as a kind of a group artistic project, or some sort of collaboration or some sort of combination of things in that kind of way. So that sounds interesting. I'm not a huge fan of collaborations myself, because I am too much of, I enjoy my own ideas too much. Well, it's not really that. It's more that I enjoy seeing what I'm capable of myself, rather than being an art monkey or whatever it is for someone else. But that's for a different time. That's a different conversation. You probably have a great time to hanging out with other artists and collaborating with them. So that's it. That was a bit of fun. I enjoyed that, doing different things. I kind of had to rush through them because there was so many, and I don't want this video to be, 4 hours long or any of those type of things. So hopefully it's doesn't sound too rushed or too, I don't know, to give everyone a decent enough answer. As always, do not take any of this as divine inspiration or the divine truth or word from God or any of these things. It's a bit of fun. See it as advice from a friend, and that rather than anything, no capital T truth. It's small t Tommy truth. Or it's not even that, it's just divinations. It's fortune telling. It's not the end all be all. So if you don't like the answer, you don't have to act on it. It's just seen as another view, another opinion on your question. So, good people of the internet, until our next adventure, be well.